What is going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing today? Missed you guys. I'm back with another video. Just wanted to show you another quick comparison and just talk a little bit about the future of TV, which is the now of TV, with the new QD OLED from Samsung and the anticipated and highly anticipated LG 3 series with the MLA or Meta technology. But anyways, as you can guys can see too, check this out. I'm excited about that right there. Um, Let me know if you guys want me to do an unboxing and a review on that as well. But anyways, I'm just really here. Here, I'm gonna turn the lights down. I'm just really here to talk about a couple of things. Mainly the next generation TVs coming out right now, and what I'm excited about. And just to clarify a couple of things, I also want to go over some of the settings on my current TVs right now, just to show you where I kind of stand is what I like. And just to, here, I'll actually go back up here. Just to clarify again, if you haven't seen my previous videos, I have the G2 in the 83 inch on the right, and I also have the A95k right over here on the left in the 65 inch. Just to kind of show you guys, I just want to let you guys know, I usually like to show by the stand and what it looks like, because everybody knows what the stand looks like on the A95k, just for proof that of what it is. And the LG G2, beautiful TV right there. But anyways, just want to clarify a couple of things that were in the comments. And by the way, I really want to thank you guys for leaving all your comments. I really appreciate it. A lot of times, people can be very precise in what they think, and I appreciate that because in a lot of ways, they're they're right, and from a professional standpoint of view. But I'm not here to talk as a professional. I'm here to talk as an owner, somebody who's an out the box guy, somebody who likes to learn the settings and play with them and just share as I go along. Um, and just, basically share what I personally prefer over what the pros tell me I should be doing and things like that. So, and what I perceive. So, I know sometimes, again, because I'm not a pro, I can be incorrect uh, in some of the terminology that I use. But I'm not there to throw you off. I'm just either way, whether the terminology is correct or incorrect, my I'm still sharing you exactly how I see it and how what my experience is, just to kind of let you guys know what to look out for and things like that. Um, so as you can see right now, I have the PS5 on. I know as you guys can see, I have two PS5s, one on each entertainment center, but obviously I'm only using one, as you can see. And I have a splitter connected to it to show you guys. And I like using the splitter because it actually shows you how each TV approaches HDR, how it approaches any any of their picture settings in their own way, and how they approach what they want their particular TV to look like. So I don't want the TVs to look exactly alike. I want to show you what these TVs look like in their own way, as the brands designed them to, or gave you the capability of how to use them and what you can do to make them look a certain way. So basically, I just want to show you what each individual TV can do on its own, in their own way. So that's what I like about the splitter that I use, and that's why I show you guys the way I show you. Because if you really try to use the TVs and make them look alike, or one way or another, or whatever the case is, I kind of feel like it kind of throws the perception off and things like that. So, anyways, what I'm doing right now is I'm just gonna show you guys a couple of things. So over here, if you walk towards the end of this area here, you're gonna notice right away. You can notice the picture difference. You can kind of see how the G2 WOLED technology really, because of it's a WOLED, um, with the white subpixels, you can see that it kind of pushes the blues more in certain scenes like this. Um, so right off the bat, you can kind of tell. It does look a little bit more blue through the camera. I will say that it's not as blue in person. And I am shooting and recording at 4K 60 hertz, just to let you guys know. So if you guys want to optimize that or go to your picture settings through YouTube, you can go ahead and do that and change it to 2160p because it will come up that way. Um, but if you notice on the left, the A95K, it looks more brighter, and I will show you what settings I used. But just to let you guys know, um, in the A95K, I am in game mode, and I am also in game optimizer mode with the G2. So that way, it's just trying to be apples to apples here when it comes to when it comes to what mode you're in, and then I will show you what settings I have for the both of them too. But I will tell you, um, in my personal experience, I will say that the motion when you're in game mode is pretty close. So thank you. I forgot who left the comment on that. Um, but like for example, if I put it in standard mode or I put it in a different mode on the A95K, there will be definitely a lot more input lag. It's more noticeable. It just feels super slow. It is a lot closer, that input lag, when you put it in game mode. Um, and I knew that, but I didn't know it was that much of a difference. So thank you for that. Although people are saying you can barely notice the difference, though, I'm not kidding, guys. I don't care what anyone says. I know you can do all the testing in the world and this and that. I still notice the difference in the input lag, no matter which way you put it. Um, when you're even in game mode, HDR with tone mapping on, tone mapping off, it doesn't matter which way you go. Um, it just feels a little bit more laggy with the input. The response time, I can notice it, especially when I have both screens on, which I did this morning, playing in first person shooter, both in game mode, trying to optimize the performance on both of them. The A95K was definitely a little bit slower on the input lag. And again, it was better in game mode, but still, I felt it, and I just noticed that I kept my eyes more geared towards the G2 because it felt quicker, felt more responsive when I was playing, and it felt a little bit more smoother, or smooth, I should say, and that's just my personal opinion. So now I want to get to the ground and the reflections here on this particular game, because we all know, I don't if let me know if you guys played this game, Hogwarts Legacy, because this game is amazing, guys. I just don't know which way to put it. I didn't even have interest in this game. Somebody left a comment to me and said, "Hey, listen, you should get Hogwarts Legacy if you want to look at beautiful visuals for these TVs." And I said, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. I'll try it. I was never a Harry Potter fan. I never even watched any of their movies at all, to be honest with you. But anyways, let's get to the reflections here. So, um, if you notice the reflections on the ground, they both look tremendous, I will say. I would say that if you want all right, so let me just get to this. The the A95K looks brighter right now than the G2, but when you look over here at the reflections, you'll see that like those colors, like the greens and the reflections, the reds, the blues, um, they definitely pop a lot more, and they're more reflective in the A95K, which I actually absolutely love. And then So we kind of got that, right? But if you walk out towards here, you look at through the windows right here. See how like the specular highlights on the A95K are kind of blasting through the windows, right? You can't really see the detail in the windows in the A95K. I'm pretty sure you can definitely tone that down. But if you look at the G2, look at that. You can tell every little detail. You can tell every little color in each window. You can tell all the different things. So that's what I like about the G2. You don't have to do too much. And that's in and again, they're both in game optimizer mode. So that's just like one sample that I wanted to give right there in this particular scene here. If you look up to, you can see it's the same thing. The circular window, you can see all the colors in the window in the G2. You can see the details in them a lot better, and it's a little bit harder to see in the QD OLED, the A95K on the left. You don't see them as much. You see, it's more like the sun is like like blaring through um, a lot higher in the A95K than which will block the detail out. So again, some people will argue they like the specular highlight look better, and others will say no way. The G2, the details in the G2 look a lot better. It is all personal perception, but those are just things that I wanted to bring up. And look at the three windows on the left of the screen. As you can see, it's the same thing. A lot of highlights going through there, specular highlights going through there, kind of blocks the detail out of the window. But you can see in the G2, look at how beautiful it looks. I mean, it just, so again, that's my personal opinion. I do like when I back out. I do like the reflections better on the A95K off the ground more than I do in the G2. But when you look at over here and the windows and stuff, the specular highlights, a lot of people like that. I'm not a fan. I rather go with the G2 just with the colors, the beautiful windows. I think it's, that's the intent of what it was supposed to look like, obviously, because it's there in the G2. So, that's one thing. So I'm going to go down these stairs over here. Again, and I just started playing this video game, so I don't even know where I am a lot of times when I play this game. So please bear with me because I get lost very easily in this area, and I don't know. There's like an area where I would like to go and try to find like outside, and sometimes I have a hard time remembering where to go. But anyways, as I'm going through this area, I just want to show you guys like just what everything looks like. The scenes. Like if you walk up to this right here. Now, what's more attractive to me is the QD OLED, the A95K, how like on the bottom there, that orange part that's supposed to be fire or flames going upward. If you just look at it, it just has more pop. And the crazy part is, and I'll show you in the settings in the G2, I have color depth and brightness all the way up. So because again, I'm a person who definitely try to stretch out the color depth a little bit more. But that's basically, again, something that attracts me more to this part right here. And then if you look at his scarf right there, like if you notice the blue in the scarf just pops more. It actually kind of almost looks like it glows like an LED light. And I know that's a less natural look, but if you're a gamer and you really like things to pop, you're probably going to go with the A95K. So, that's just kind of my take on it. Let's go up here. Oops, sorry. Let's go up here. And then let's go through this door here. I think you can go through this door. Here we go. Yeah, so now we're outside. Just want to show you guys. Look at this view here. Look how amazing this looks. This game, guys, is just truly something else. I can't even explain how great this game looks. But anyways, now let's look at over here. This is a good scene because there's a lot of green. So I personally like the G2's greens better than the A95Ks. And I know the A95K is more has like a soft calibration out the box, and I understand that. I know people keep telling me that, and I understood that before I even got the TV. It has a more natural look. The picture quality is amazing, and that's why I have the TV because of that reason. So, um, but when it comes to certain things, like if you look, I'm gonna actually show you guys over here. Let me do a close up. All right. So, if you look in this area over here, right there, you see how like the leaves are orange and green? Let me get a closer look right there. You see that? And then you look over here to that same area. You see how they're kind of more like yellowish and kind of washed out on the green? I have a feeling it has a lot to do with the specular highlights and everything. I'm not sure. I could be saying that completely wrong. I don't know. But there's just more detail, I feel, sometimes in certain scenes like that. And then if you look up in the sky, you can kind of tell right off the bat that the sky is more broken up. It's not kind of like a big white mush as it is in the A95K. Again, I feel like the blue is a nicer blue in the G2. The A95K just seems like the specular highlights are a little too much. And I know you can tone that down. And I can and I will tone that down for you guys so you guys can see for yourself. But again, um, because of that QD OLED tech, I feel like no matter what, it's always going to have more specular highlights, no matter how much you tone it down and things like that. So, um, but again, the colors, the sky, the detail in the building, things like that, I just feel like the G2 kind of has that down pat. But then there's going to be other areas where you're going to like the A95K better when it comes to like the oranges, the fire, um, scenes that look better in brighter areas, things like that. But everyone's different, it's a personal opinion thing. Um, Now, another thing that I wanted to go over was like the grays. So, like right now, I'm in a kind of, the gray. I got stone steps, concrete steps, things like that. So, if you like look, right, um, the the A95K in this particular, there's just more detail in the A95K with these kinds of colors. So like if you look at the concrete here, I'm going to go to the A95K. Look at like the concrete down here in this area. You see all those little tiny details right there going in. I mean, it looks real. Like it looks like that's like if you were there in with a human non-animated. Like the detail is so smooth and perfect right there. And this is the part where I feel like sometimes the G2 is lacking. And then look over here, look at the details and the imperfections in the walls, things like that. I'm not a big fan of, again, the specular highlights. You can't even see the details in the lines in the window. Not a fan of that when it comes to the QD OLED. But the picture does pop more, which I know a lot of people are going to like. Now, let's go to the G2. So the G2, you can see the details in the window a lot better, as you can see, right? But if you look down, it's kind of harder to see the details. It looks a little washed out. It looks actually a little bit more pixelated too. And that could be because of the screen size as well. But the detail in the wall sometimes I feel like is missing. And I noticed that with the grays or with the darker scenes and things like that, it's harder to get detail out of the G2, I feel. And again, that's a personal opinion, and that's just what I see, that's just what I experience and things like that. So let me just show you guys, and you can tell me if there's any particular settings that you would like me to show or anything in the next video. But I'm gonna go to settings here. That's standard mode. Now watch if I go to RPG, or I'm sorry, yeah, RPG. Now it looks a little bit more saturated, right? But again, it seems like it kind of dimmed a little bit, and there's still not as much detail, right? Like, look at the wall. And again, this is just a particular scene. This doesn't mean that this applies to every scene that I show. And then again, I'm still in game mode. You can't, the A95K does not have a dedicated game mode menu, so you kind of just have to go with whatever it gives you. But look, it still has the better detail, things like that. So, you know. But let me go back to the settings over here. All right. So now we're going to go to all settings. Let me go back to here. I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to show you where the brightness is, contrast. I can bring that down. Black levels. I can bring that down too, but I feel like it also dims the TV at the same time. Dynamic tone mapping is one of those controversial things. Now I have that on. Now look at this. It's weird. If you have it off, kind of brightens it up a little bit, but it kind of washes out. And then watch what happens when I go to HDIG. Not much, right? You don't really see an entirely big difference. I mean, if I actually turn it off, kind of like look at the window here on the right. Watch, I'm going to HDIG. Kind of washes it out, which I'm not a big fan of. Turn HDIG off. There's more detail. You can see the lines in the window. The detail's a little bit better. And let's go back to on. And I feel like dynamic tone mapping on, I think for the TV, for gaming, certain games like RPG games are the best. So, that's what I'm a big fan of. All right, so let me back out. Peak brightness is on high. Video range full. So that's in brightness. I'm going to go to color. All right, so everything's native. I'm not going to I don't fine tune anything. Color depth is all the way up just to get the max color because I really like color depth. We'll go to here and you'll see color points cold at 11. I can bring that down, right? I just don't really see enough of a difference to really tone that down. Like once you start getting into the warm, you can probably get it looking closer to the A95K, but then the skin tones and stuff start to get a little oversaturated and things like that. So I'm more of like a cold or cool temp person. I mean, I can keep it there. Between 5 and 10 or 11 is where I usually keep it. That's again my personal opinion. I like the way it looks, and that's why these menus are there, so you can tweak it the way you personally like your tone. So let me back out. Yeah, so that's basically where I'm at as far as the settings go. You can go to clarity. I have the high super resolution on. Sharpness is on 46. I don't like it too sharp. Noise reduction I got off. I got the smooth gradation off. All that off. True motion off. So not really a big fan of true motion, to be honest with you. I can hit reduce blue light, and then obviously it'll look a lot closer to the A95K, as you can see. But I just feel like when you reduce the blue light again in certain like certain scenes, it gets really red, and I'm not a big fan of that. Or orange, especially their skin tones. So I'm not a big fan of that at all. Again, you can turn it off if you have the TV and you like it to look more like that. But I am not a fan. I like the more cool or blue look, especially when it comes to like more natural lighting and things like that. That's again a personal opinion. Might sound crazy. You guys might not like it, but that's basically what I personally like. Now, gonna go here to the settings, and I'll just show you. I have it, as you can see, in game mode. I'm gonna go to picture settings. I'm gonna show you what I have. Ambient light sensor, I hate that feature. I turn that off. Go to brightness. Brightness is maxed, and you can turn the brightness down. I like it in gaming when the brightness is maxed. Contrast, I like it maxed on a QD OLED. I like it a lot. Gamma, I just have up as a sample, usually all the way up, but usually I have it down to here. Probably dead center, maybe -1. I do like that too. But as you can see, it's not really changing the specular highlights or anything like that. I don't think it's supposed to be honest with you. HDR tone mapping. So let's turn this on so I can show you. Brightness preferred, gradation preferred, or completely off. So now you can see more detail in HDR tone mapping, brightness preferred, or gradation. So what do you guys think? Do you like the HDR tone mapping? Because now you can see a little bit more detail in the window. My black levels, I mean, I kind of keep that dead in the middle for the QD OLED because I feel like the closer you get to the black tones, the darker it gets. And then it starts to get washed out when you get a little bit higher, as you can see. So I kind of keep it like right in the middle, maybe at 46 sometimes. That's probably like as low as I really like to get. I got the black adjust high on, the contrast enhancer on high, just like I do in the G2. Peak luminance is high. Color depth is going to be right here, all the way maxed out. The hue is dead middle. Um, so this one right here is like subject to whatever I'm in the mood for. Um, but I keep it on expert one. I feel like that one personally for this particular game is really good. But anyways, cool, right, is another one that I like to use. Everyone's different, you know what I mean? Live color I turned off. Let's go to clarity. Sharpness is at 50. I can make it more sharp, but for some reason I feel like I get a little bit more, I think like almost like judder, or I don't really know how to explain it, but it gets really high and like it's shaky on the screen. Don't like it. Reality creation, I keep on manual. Resolution at 10. Um, you can put it up, but like once you put it up, like it looks a lot grainier, especially. So I kind of really like to keep that a little bit down. Really kind of keep that down right there. 23, 25 is really the max I would go with that personally. So smooth gradation. Um, I like to keep it on low specifically for the A95K. I feel like that's where, it's best. Motion. Oops, sorry. So right here you can see I just kind of turn that off. So I'm not really, those things really don't matter to me. But anyway, so that's kind of my take on it. You're gonna get more great, like more detail, mostly um, with the A95K. But in certain scenes, you're gonna get more detail with the G2. It's just the way it is. That's how I see it. But like, like if you look up here, look at look at how beautiful that green is on the A95K, on that like flame right there. Look at how it just like glows, almost like a glow stick or something like that. It's insane. So there's certain things that you would appreciate more than others, but that's something that you would have to just consider on your own what you like. Um, I want to just talk lastly about certain things that maybe you guys want to ask or have asked me a lot. Um, I'm going to keep the G2, the 83 inch. That's what I'm going to do. For the next TVs that I'm going to be purchasing is either going to be the G3 in the 77 inch or the the S90C in the 77 inch, and that's going to replace either my Samsung S95B, or I'm going to replace the A95K in 65 inch and sell those off and replace it. I'm keeping the 83 inch. I'm enjoying the TV. It's a beautiful TV. I can't wait to see what the MLA looks like, what that technology brings to the OLED TVs for LG. I have a feeling that TV is going to be a killer TV, and that's why I'm holding off, because I'm going to be replacing. And a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy, but the A95K, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful TV. I love it. The picture quality, as you can tell, is amazing. Um, there are some nuances that I don't like about it, and things that just kind of make it an inconvenience. Number one, I know a lot of people like the stand because it's wide and it sits low. I hate it. It's heavy. It's awkward. It's just annoying, and I like the center stand better, kind of like on the LGs and the S95Bs, um, things like that. I like that style better. I know the S95B stand in the center is more plastic, so I know a lot of people are saying it feels cheap and things like that, but it feels solid to me. It is still supported by some metal, um, and I don't mind it because it's light and it's easy to maneuver. Um, and then another thing I don't like about the A95K is the placement of the um, the uh, the HDMI ports. I feel like it's just way too awkward. They're very hard to get in there. I feel like they could have just used it a little bit wiser, and made it a little bit easier to put in. Not a big fan of that at all, and I just feel like for the price of the A95K, I would have probably, if now that I own both the S95B and the A95K, I would have probably just stayed with the S95B in a sense, because I like how it has four 2.1 HDMI ports. That's a big deal to me. I like how it does have more gaming features and a dedicated gaming settings. And the new the new S95C and the S90C is coming up with even more newer game settings and can go uh, natively up to 144 hertz, which is a big deal. So looking forward to that as well. Let me know what you guys think. I didn't mean to make this a long video or anything like that, but I just wanted to show you guys some of the things that I noticed, and hoping that you guys enjoyed this video and it helps. Let me guys know what your thoughts are in the video. Um, Again, these are just settings that I like when I'm in game mode. I really appreciate it, and I want to thank everybody. Please like and subscribe. Gonna come up with more videos, and I'll be purchasing or maybe even both TVs when that MLA comes out. I will be purchasing something. I'm holding off. I'm seeing some reviews right now on the S95C, and don't get me wrong, the TV looks better. I mean, but you're really getting 20-30% brightness or better. The APL definitely is nice. It looks like in sport mode, or when you're watching sports, it looks fantastic. Um, but I'm more of a gamer, so there's certain settings that I like differently. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope everybody enjoyed this video, and please let me know if there's anything in the comments that you would like to see. And take care, and I'll see you on the next one.